so let's have a quick summary of today's class once again right from the beginning. And as you see, the topic for today was functionalism. Specifically, we are looking at Robert King Merton's codification of functional analysis. So this is the topic, and a quick look at what we have learned from today. Definitely what you learned today is you will be able to identify or justify the need for the codification of functional analysis. So why was there a need for this? Is something that we will learn, and we would have learned from this. Second, the concept of functionalism from Merton's perspective. So how does he define what is function? Is something that we are looking at, and also we will be able to look at what impact this functionalism had where sociology is concerned largely. So looking at this, you will see that in the work of Robert King Merton, he is trying to strengthen the approach of structural functionalism. The approach of structural functionalism is based on the great anthropologists and their works, especially to do with Branislaw Malinowski and Radcliffe Brown. So these two laid the foundation to this, and some people like Talcott Parsons and Robert King Merton felt we should be using this in sociology as well. The word structure simply means, to give you the example as I stated earlier, that if you look at Ganesh Chaturthi, you can organize it in the form of a structure. What happens from the beginning till the end of Ganesh Chaturthi, and that becomes the structure of that festival. Like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, you can structure it. But function would mean what happens on every single day and what it contributes to would mean the function of that festival. So structural functional approach means this. And you see, this structural functional approach was quite famous in the 40s and 50s. It went up till the 60s and was very famous in America and Europe, and in many parts of the world they applied this approach in the understanding of society. Now Merton felt that this particular approach lacked certain clarity, and Robert King Merton felt that there is something that needs to be done about it. That is why he felt there was a need to codify this word called functions. So he not only looked at the word functions but also wanted to bring out some new concept to which he could look at something like change, because he always felt that change was neglected in the functionalist approach. And that is why, like, we use this word called, to look at society sometimes, which we look from the functionalist perspective, that society is like a freeze river. But society can never be viewed as a freeze river. We need to look at it as a flowing river. And that is why Merton recognized that you can't look at society as having a status quo always. It keeps changing. And he introduced certain concept to this. So going further, you see the word function, we look at it in multiple ways, biologically as well as socio-culturally. Now as you see some examples here, there is a function of heart, function of X and Y, and you will find also the function of orphanage and a function of a president. In each of these functions are looked in a different way. Function means utility in some case, like the utility of the heart. Okay. Function means purpose, motive, intentions and consequence. Like function of an orphanage would mean the consequence of why we have an orphanage. So we can look at it in different ways. So Merton felt the need to codify, standardize this word function, and just like you see in natural sciences, the words like heat, force and all these things can be looked at in a common way universally in any part of the world. When we look at the word heat, you will define it in the same way. Whether we are in Japan, whether we are in London, whether we are in India, heat is conceived in the same way. Same way we wanted to talk about the word function, and that is why he gave a definition of function that you see there. He talked about function as those observed consequences which make for the adaptation or adjustment of a given system. So to take this example of an orphanage, we will see that an orphanage can be looked at playing a role, playing a function in society. And when we look at the word function, orphanage contributes to the adaptation and adjustment of people in the given system. Now, Robert King Merton comes up with other concepts to talk about this word function. These concepts are like manifest functions, latent functions, and dysfunctions. All of these are defined in a certain way based on the role that something is playing. So let's have a look at these different concepts to go further with. Looking here, manifest functions. So I've been taking the same example of the orphanage and talking to you about this example of orphanage towards manifest function, latent function, and dysfunction. Manifest function, as you see, the definition says it is the objective consequences contributing to the adjustment and adaptation which are intended and recognized. So directly when we look at an orphanage, the role or the function of orphanage is to provide shelter for the homeless children, no matter what. But that is the intended consequence of an orphanage. But an orphanage can play other types of roles. An orphanage can provide some sort of a solace, some sort of a thing to bank upon for childless couples where they can come and adopt a child and save their marriage from breaking. That is one. Secondly, the orphanage can also play the role of saving maybe a girl from facing ostracization in the society because she is bearing a child without marriage. So it provides you with a safety valve to go and deliver your child in an orphanage. Now, such type of function would be looked at as a latent function because this is not directly intended. So, as you see the definition, objective consequences contributing to the adjustment adaptation of system. This girl, she is having a means to adapt, to adjust, although she is expecting a child without marriage. Same way, the childless couple is also getting a chance to adapt and adjust in the given system. But this is not what is intended, nor it is recognized. And therefore, it's a manifest, it's a latent function. Lastly, we see Robert King Merton talking about also dysfunction, those activities that are not conducive to the maintenance of the social life. The same orphanage can also play a dysfunction. Many a times orphanages are places where antisocial elements are born. You will find like people, if the orphanage is not up to mark, if the orphanage children have been mistreated, if the orphanage where the children are not given proper food to eat, proper values, then those children, instead of growing up nicely, they would become antisocial. Such children may go on and become delinquents. They will go on and continue to be further criminals. So the same thing can be viewed as a dysfunction as well. And this is what the first time Robert King Merton gives some scope to change. He's talking about change in society. So with this, I think we'll quickly look at what impact this had when we look at sociology. And we see that Robert King Merton was able to look at three problems with the functionalist perspective. Problem number one, functional unity. Problem number two, functional universality. Problem number three, functional indispensability. All of these he tried to address and in a way provides us with an understanding through his approach, that is his theory. He combines it with the methods that are used in sociology and the data, the information from the field, giving us something called as a middle range theory, which is different from a grand theory which explains everything in the society or in the whole world. So he never says that his theory is a grand theory, it's a middle range theory because his theory will be applicable to certain cultures and certain societies. So with this, it brings us to an end and we look at a quick summary what this codification of function analysis does. We see it demonstrates the need for change in this codification. He talks about this codification because the word functions was viewed in a different way and he comes up with a definition for it. And lastly, he says that this particular approach of what he provides not only gives more clarity but it also strengthens the structural functionalist approach. Thank you.